Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of WOD TV. We're capping off our first product review series, looking at the Elevation Training Mask. So this is at the end of our 6 weeks. We've done some post-testing. Cam, can you tell us a little bit about what we found with the test?
For sure. So we did a 10-minute airdyne test, pre and post, and that was for max calories. We had the experimental group, which is myself and AJ, and we used the Elevation Training Mask for 6 weeks. And we also had a control group, which didn't use the mask, but participated in the same training that AJ did. So we can compare their results on the post-test to the results that AJ and I got on that airdyne test. And what we saw was the variance that we had in terms of the improvements seen in myself and AJ was basically the same as the variances we saw in the control group. Meaning that there wasn't really any difference in terms of the training effect of the Elevation Training Mask, utilizing it in training versus not. For example, I actually went down in calories by 6 calories over the 10-minute period, and AJ went up by 6 calories. So our improvement as a group was basically 0. And we saw the same thing with the experimental group. They kind of averaged out. Some people got better, some people got worse, and they averaged out to about 0 as well. So we can't say that the training mask statistically had any physiological benefit to training.
And obviously the limitations of this study were that we had a fairly small sample size, and so if someone was going to run another test to further investigate the product, we'd recommend using obviously a lot more people and perhaps using a longer testing period, maybe 12 weeks instead of 6, to better allow time for, say, any adaptations that might or might not be happening. So in terms of those physiological adaptations within the context of the test, we didn't really see any conclusive evidence either way. But what about any sort of secondary results or adaptations?
For myself, I found like I did have some positive adaptations. I feel now that I have better control of my breathing when I'm doing a workout, and if I start to hyperventilate or breathe very high in my chest, I'm able to calm myself down much faster. Rather than it taking 30 seconds or a minute, I can kind of take a couple deep breaths, 10 seconds, and go back to whatever I was doing. So I think psychologically and maybe to some extent with physiologically with my breathing control, things have improved.
Interesting. So that's definitely a sort of a subjective measure that we weren't really able to capture in our particular investigation.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we don't have the resources really to examine, breathing efficiency. We just had basically a simple test of output, of physiological output. So there could be some benefits that we haven't actually seen because we haven't been able to investigate them fully. So yeah, I definitely feel like AJ has seen some benefits from using the mask.
All right, so final word in conclusion, buy, sell, or hold. Is this something that you would buy?
For me, yes, I feel like it's totally worth it. I feel like having the mask in my bag was a good reminder to put the work in and do the exercises. However, if you don't have any problems breathing in your workouts, then you probably don't need this product. But for the 1% who do, then yeah, I totally recommend it.
And I'm going to say, yeah, based on my observations of the way things played out over 6 weeks, I would personally recommend against using this for a lot of training, just because it is going to increase the difficulty and it's going to lower your output at the end of the day. However, personally, I have seen a lot of benefit from just regular mask-free breathing exercises, just sort of meditative type of thing. So my recommendation would be try out the free version, just some deep breathing exercises, and if that has a significant effect for you within your training, then the mask might be a good way to step that up even further.
Those are good points, and my advice would be, if you're looking for the magic bullet, the magic pill that's actually going to be the breakthrough in your training, it's likely not going to be the Elevation Training Mask. It's just, it affects your training output too much, I feel, and what we saw over the course of 6 weeks was no real improvement in our physiological output. And so based on that, and although it was a limited study, based on those findings, I don't really feel like I can recommend it. But how Lucas was saying, you can do a no-cost alternative to the breathing exercises. If you do have the resources to purchase it, it's an incentive for you to practice breathing. And if that's something that you think you should work on or you need to work on, then having the mask there and actually being that reminder, like AJ was saying, could actually be quite beneficial. So it kind of depends on who you are as a person, but it's not going to be that magic bullet that some people have made it out to be.
All right, there you have it. So thanks, guys. It's been a fun 6 weeks checking out this product. If you have any other products you'd like us to review, you can send us an email at wadtvinfo@gmail.com, and we'll see you next time.